To the changing dynamic of the NFL preseason, where when you played, the preseason games were
everything.
Were everything. And now we're seeing the joint practices where the Jets are starting today with the Washington Commanders. Next week, we're going to see you down in Carolina where they will practice with the Panthers, of course. And then finally, the Giants are coming here to Florham Park this year for a joint practice followed by a game.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see the philosophy change between different coaches in the league. Like you said, there's been a philosophy change where when I played, preseason was everything. That's how you truly evaluated your guys, and that's how you truly prepared them to get ready for the rigors of a 16-game season. And plus, if you were making a playoff run. But now, you know, coaches, like you said, a lot of these teams are having 3 cross practices. So essentially, they're substituting, instead of putting their frontline guys in the preseason games, they're putting them in these cross practices to truly evaluate them. And rhyme or reason is one way better than another. Who knows? Andy Reid still plays his guys in the preseason, and they have a lot of success. So it just depends on how you feel your team will do when they have that cross practice. It's always good to get a look at another color because for the player's perspective, EA, you're tired of beating up on your own color, right? We've seen it across the landscape of the NFL. So many fights break out. Now you get to compete against another team, and the competition always gets ratcheted up. And again, from the Jets' perspective, the brass, the front office, they get to evaluate their guys and they get to evaluate other teams as well. So it's always good when you get to, you know, go to battle with your brothers against another color and another team.
Look, take a look at this right here. The guy in the green raincoat, not in practice. That's a quarterback right there. That looks like Aaron Rodgers. And as he turns his face, it is Aaron Rodgers. We saw Mike Williams in the practice field in gear. He was activated off the physically unable to perform list, but obviously with 8 in the green raincoat not practicing, that's definitely something that it's going to kind of news to us. Like last time we saw him on the practice field was on field 3, which is closest to the street, and the Jets had a final period. Tyrod Taylor took reps at the end of practice, and then yesterday was a walkthrough.
Well, I should say, and you guys just saw that, Aaron Rodgers got a big smile on his face, and he was hopping out there as he talked to
look good.
As he talked to one of the young ball boys. But dudes, I don't want to, you know, sit here and throw things out as far as just speculation.
Correct.
But in this kind of situation, does it make sense? You got a slick field, you got a veteran quarterback, you got a guy who's gone through a number of reps throughout the summer just to hold him back right now.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. You talked about it, the inclement weather, and it hasn't just been today. It's been raining the last couple of days because of the storm that came from the south. So we don't know if that maybe was part of the decision for him maybe not to play. This could be that he already had a rest day built in, right? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a guy that's going into his 20th season. So most veterans in camp, even my 9th line, Adam Peters, the GM, has made some changes on that side of the ball and has brought in guys like Nick Allegretti, who has Super Bowl experience from the Kansas City Chiefs. So again, anytime you get to go up against another color, you get to really evaluate yourself to see where you're at right now at this stage early in training camp. So the receiver matchups, Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin versus DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner, and then adversely, our defensive line versus their offensive line.
So right now we're watching the Jets offensive line warm up. They're going to be going against the likes of Daron Payne,
linebacker, and rush on the outside of Frankie Louvu. So it'll be interesting to see those matchups too between their defensive line and our offensive line.
There's the Jets linebackers right now. Quincy Williams, who was All-Pro last year, also number 32 on NFL's top.
Love it.
Huh?
Love it.
How about some love?
Yeah.
And number 44, Jamie Sherwood, he's at a great camp. I'm interested to see what you think about him after today's practice. Leger, you mentioned Joe Tippmann earlier. Well, actually, someone who's familiar.
I will say, don't you think, guys, that this is going to help Tyrod Taylor because Aaron Rodgers takes a ton of reps during practice, and you're hoping he plays 17 games this season and well beyond, and the Jets obviously make a playoff run. But with that being said, this gives Tyrod Taylor extended work against another team with his new team running the offense, Greens.
Yeah, this is why you brought Tyrod Taylor in the building, in case Aaron Rodgers couldn't go. Today, he's not going to be able to go because of weather. Robert Saleh said we're going to take him out, and I think I'm interested to see what.
Every year he goes out there and he does exactly what he needs to do as a quarterback. He just obviously has those injury issues. So to see him get these reps in practice, we're going to really see what Saturday is going to look like. And they had either a third down period or a 2-minute period where he drove down the field and it was flawless, right? A few passes to Allen Lazard on the sideline, got them in the field goal range, and ended the period just how they needed it.
I'm curious to know, and we'll find out soon enough, if Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, we haven't actually talked about the news,
Right.
which is Mike Williams has been activated off of the physically unable to perform list. We just saw him going through individual drills a moment ago. If you're watching right now, stay tuned because we're going to show you one-on-ones. Jets O-line.
He's going to go out there, stretch the field a little bit more. So it's exciting for the rest of the team to know that the game changes. The whole dynamics of the offense changes when you have a guy like Mike Williams. Right?
Breece Hall was not activated until I believe it was like August 15th or 16th of last year. So a couple days before that. So we'll see if he's able to take any snaps. But
take us through that. Take us through the drill that we just saw Mike Williams.
Yeah, so this is great. This is good for his confidence in his footwork, right? Because this is a big footwork drill, but it's also, you got to pay attention. You got to go around this bag right here and make sure that your eyes are up, your hands are up, so you can catch this slick ball too. So I love that they're doing it in the rain. You see Coach has a towel on his shoulder to wipe a little bit of the water off, but it's great for hand-eye coordination, but it's also great for dipping your hips. You know he has that knee, right? You're getting low. You're working on the traction on the ground. So it's
number 8, Aaron Rodgers out there, don't worry. Robert Saleh told the beat reporters that because of the slick field, because of the weather, they're just holding him out. But there you see number 1, front and center, Sauce Gardner getting ready to practice against number 5 and the Washington Commanders' new quarterback, Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels, man. I am excited to watch him against this Jets defensive front. Can Quinnen Williams get that interior pressure on him? And also,
Daniels' teammate at LSU, Malik Neighbors, with the Giants when the Giants come to Florham Park in a couple weeks. But there's Jayden Daniels looking over the middle. That's a completed ball. Can't see the number of the Washington Commanders player. But also, in terms of 7-on-7.
This is 7-on-7.
Yeah, like how much from a defensive, offensive standpoint are you actually taking out of 7?
Yeah, so it's tough as defensively because you don't get the pressure, right? And the pressure, I always say the defensive line is the heartbeat of the defense. So if you can't get that pressure, then the DBs are really covering them much longer than they need to. So it makes it a challenge. Guys are still getting their footwork together out here. You can see some guys slipping around, but it's a good way to just understand your coverages, right? Be in the right space as a defense. Make sure it's hard for this guy to read what's going on, and then just try to make the play.
There's Marcus Mariota, isn't it?
Yeah,
number 0.
A little completion over the middle, and number 29 for the Jets, of course, Jarek Bernard Converse, who's gotten so.
Because I think a lot of guys flip a switch when you're playing against somebody else. In training camp, you have a switch, but there's a whole other level when you're playing against another team. There's less friendliness there. I'm not going to see when I go to the locker room.
Paisley over the middle to a young rookie running back, Isaiah Davis. What I've seen from the rookie running backs here.
Washington's offensive line and the Jets' defensive front. And here's Will McDonald going up against their rookie right here in Washington. Nice job right now. Yeah.
Chris Paul.
But he started with power. He started with power, and then he went to a spin. No, but like here we go. So watch the takeoff. All right. Nice. You see that dip? See that dip right there? He could have just grabbed some grass right there in that.
That's what he's been looking for. He wants to get as many opportunities to do that. Quincy Williams was really high on our guy Will McDonald here, and I really want to see him get those opportunities this weekend and today.
That's something I've also liked. What I've seen here early in camp is Braden McGregor, undrafted free agent for Michigan, wearing number 91. I think he's had a nice camp. The defensive line.